Previously, we see Mash and his friend as they trail Lemon, who has transformed into a puppet. They pursue her and discover a concealed door that leads to an underground arena beneath their school. Dot successfully overpowers one of the henchmen from the Magia Lupus, but the entire group is unexpectedly sucked into the ground. As fate would have it, they find themselves separated in the chaos. Lance confronts Worth Maddle, the formidable third member of the Magia Lupus, while Finn and Dot team up to face Milo and Love Cute, the fourth and fifth members of the gang. Meanwhile, Mash engages in a formidable duel with Razor, the second member of the Fangs. Now, Maddle emphasizes the importance of strength in their world, asserting that it is the key to everything, while considering the weak to be of no value. Uninterested in Maddle's rhetoric, Lance takes action, employing his gravity magic to squash Maddle into mud, causing him to seep into the ground. Surprisingly, Maddle reemerges behind Lance accompanied by a legion of clones, expressing fascination with Lance's gravity magic. They swiftly charge at him, but Lance skillfully defends himself by employing his spell, reducing the clones to mud. Unfazed, Maddle declares Lance's efforts useless as the mud begins to reform, launching a spike attack that Lance narrowly evades. Realizing that attacking the original body is crucial to neutralizing the clones, Lance discerns that he must employ his magic to assail the entire field. However, Maddle reappears behind Lance once again, ensnaring him with mud and launching a relentless barrage of hardened mud balls. Though Maddle acknowledges Lance's skill, he believes it to be wasted and extends an invitation for him to join the Magia Lupus. Maddle explains that a person's potential is shaped by their surroundings and the people they associate with. Disparaging everyone in the Adler dorm as trash, Maddle asserts that Lance will only stoop to their level by associating with them, boasting about the exceptional talents within the Magia Lupus, along with access to superior educational tools and potion. Maddle tries to persuade Lance. Lance scoffs at Maddle's words, asserting that his strength is not dependent on his environment, deeming Maddle inferior. Lance retaliates with his magic, propelling Maddle into the wall, causing an explosive burst of mud. It becomes apparent that Maddle has enveloped himself in a shield of mud, effectively absorbing any impact. Considering Lance's reliance on gravity magic, which hinges on slamming opponents into the ground, Maddle feels invincible. However, Lance astutely changes tactics, unexpectedly launching an onslaught of rocks. Maddle realizes that Lance has deciphered his scheme, leaving him startled and vulnerable. Maddle is forced out of hiding, prompting Lance to assert that his own strength stems from having a superior environment. However, Maddle cautions him against getting arrogant and unveils a potion containing magical essence extracted from other students. Consuming the potion, Maddle's power surges, enabling him to employ an advanced version of his Mudoro's magic. He conjures an enormous demon mud monster, emphasizing the existence of different tiers in magic. According to Maddle, second magic can only be wielded by double-liners, a select few who prove themselves worthy. Reflecting on his childhood, Maddle recalls his father explaining that his worthiness was solely determined by his aptitude for magic. Thus, he has relentlessly pursued his father's approval, believing he has now attained it through his current level of magic. Maddle berates Lance, claiming that he will never reach such strength as long as he associates with other failures. However, Lance evades Maddle's attack, contemplating the influence Mash has had on his improvement. Lance unveils his ability to also employ second magic, creating gravity pillars that surround Maddle's monster. The monster is subjected to gravitational forces from all directions, with Lance subsequently generating one more pillar above it, resulting in the monster's disintegration. Shocked by his defeat, Maddle reflects on how his father never acknowledged him, regardless of his achievements. He internalizes the belief that his father was correct and that he must be worthless. Unexpectedly, Lance tosses Maddle his worn-out book, signifying the effort Maddle has exerted to reach his current position. Lance reveals that his own family valued worth based on status and social standing, highlighting their similar upbringing. However, he recalls his sister's desire to become a singer and her determination to give her best effort. This realization leads Lance to believe that the pursuit of personal goals and the effort put into them hold greater significance. Although he disagrees with Maddle's mindset, he respects the efforts he has made and departs to search for his friends. Meanwhile, Mash harbors concerns that Razor may know his secret. Razor draws a parallel between them, as they both feel rejected by the world. However, he cryptically mentions that he has his own reasons for being there. Both prepare to engage in combat, with Mash changing into his workout attire and launching a forceful kick that pushes Razor back. Unexpectedly, Razor swiftly dodges Mash's attack, delivering a cutting blow. Razor asserts that Mash cannot emerge victorious, showcasing his magic that enhances his speed. Darting around relentlessly, he lands numerous strikes, claiming they exist on different levels. Despite the onslaught, Mash refuses to surrender, prompting Razor to express disgust toward his dream of leading a peaceful life with his family, given their similar circumstances. Razor finds Mash's fortunate circumstances with the people around him repugnant. He challenges Mash to demonstrate his abilities, revealing that Lemon is being drained of her magical powers, just like him. In 30 minutes, she will be left powerless. Determined to prevail, Mash vows to defeat Razor. Razor goes all out, utilizing his magic to repeatedly slash Mash while swiftly moving around him. Mash finds himself unable to defend against the relentless onslaught and ultimately suffers a stab wound to his abdomen. Razor laments his perceived weakness, but his sword becomes lodged as Mash tightens his abdominal muscles. Seizing the opportunity, Mash grabs hold of Razor and delivers a powerful headbutt, shattering Razor's mask and revealing his face. Although Razor's eye appears red, Mash assumes it's simply bloodshot and asks if he is alright. Razor explains that his eye is known as the Evil Eye and possesses the ability to disable anyone's magic. Regarded as a power bestowed by the devil, Razor is treated as an outcast and rejected by society. Mash apologizes for his unaffected state, but Razor clarifies that he is the natural enemy of all magicians, causing fear and disdain to follow him throughout his life. Even his own family feared him, and he believes he should never have been born, but believes Mash wouldn't understand. Activating his second form of magic, Razor envelops them in a field, and an arrow materializes on Mash's body. In an instant, Razor launches another devastating attack, explaining that within the field, Mash's speed is drained and transferred to Razor, leaving Mash with no chance of victory. Mash can only defend himself, and Razor declares that it is the end. However, Mash smashes the ground, fracturing the floor and destroying Razor's sword. Realizing that the shattered floor has restricted his movements, Razor contemplates retreating. Yet, Mash steps on his foot, preventing him from escaping. Mash activates his muscle magic, unleashing a mighty blow that sends Razor hurtling out of the field. Razor's spell is broken, and Mash pursues him, landing a powerful kick to his back. Although thrown off, Razor believes that losing would also rob him of his reason to exist, motivating him to fight back. The two clash, but Mash catches Razor's sword, slamming him into the wall. Mash continues his relentless assault, striking Razor repeatedly. Finally, Mash finishes with a submission attack, bringing their clash to an end. As Razor lies on the ground, he wishes he had been born normal. It is revealed that his evil eye manifested when he was a child, leading his parents to confine him in the basement to prevent others from discovering his abilities. Over time, his parents even attempted to kill him, leading Razor to believe he should never have been born. However, he found purpose through Abel's influence. Even though he was being used as a tool, it provided him with a reason to live. Now, having failed, Razor believes he has returned to being unwanted. Mash recognizes the fortunate bond he shares with his father and extends an offer to become Razor's friend. However, Razor deems it impossible, convinced that Mash's feelings towards him will eventually change. Despite this, Razor expresses gratitude for Mash's kindness and warns him not to proceed further, cautioning that Abel is on an entirely different level and Mash has no chance of winning. Mash appreciates the warning but remains resolute in his decision to press on. He declares that no matter what others think of him, his feelings will remain unwavering. Mash invites Razor to share cream puffs together the next time they meet. This brings an end to our episode. If you enjoyed it, then don't forget to subscribe our channel, Any Explainer.